Good morning, everybody. I'd like to make a statement about the tragedy in J-Town yesterday. I know there's a great deal of speculation about the shooter and possible motives. We will learn more over the coming days, and I'm going to hold off on commenting on that specifically until we get more information. But I will say this. We are one city, one proudly diverse and welcoming city, and we have one shared future. Our city and our future have no room for anyone who looks at their fellow human beings with hate or discrimination. There may be questions about mental illness, and there can be no doubt that we must do whatever is needed to get people all of the health care that they need. But today, I'm just sick and heartbroken and quite angry. I feel that way about any act of violence and cruelty. This one is especially painful because, as has been reported, one of the victims was the father of a member of my team. We love Kelly Watson, our Chief Equity Officer and well-known community leader. I visited with her and her family last night, and she knows that we're here for her and her family, and we ask everyone, please respect their privacy. Be mindful of what they're going through, a sudden and painful loss that's beyond words to describe, extremely traumatizing. The decent thing to do is to give them whatever time and space and accommodation that they need. Please do that. Part of what makes me feel sick and heartbroken is thinking about what the victims and their families are dealing with. Because yes, this does hit close to home, but every act of senseless violence hits close to home for far too many. Ask Reverend James, our Chief for Community Building, who's with us today. He's lost members of his flock, of his church, to senseless violence. These are his family members. My bottom line is I'm angry because it seems like none of these murders and massacres hit close enough for many of the people in the position to do something to prevent some of this madness. In Louisville, we've created violence prevention programs that are working. We're working to do more, but we're not going to stop. But at the city level, there's only so much that we can do, because the hard fact is that most violent crimes are committed with guns, and guns fall under the jurisdiction of the state and federal governments. And every time someone takes a gun and creates a tragedy, what's the response from too many of our leaders, the ones that have the power to make our country safer, our cities safer, our schools and churches and our groceries safer? They act as if nothing can be done. That doesn't sound like the United States of America to me. We're the greatest, most powerful, most resourceful country in the world. Why do we pretend that we're helpless? America's never helpless. America mobilizes. We take on big problems and we get them done. You can see it throughout the history of our country. And we've got a big problem. We have an epidemic of gun violence. But somehow, a few have become so beholden to politics that they place a higher value on that than on the lives of our fellow Americans. People getting shot at a grocery store, a school, outside a church. Can't we all agree that that is unacceptable? There are ways to make our country safer and still respect the rights of law-abiding gun owners. This idea that it's all or nothing is a false choice, and Americans are dying every day because of it. And I know with all the talk about how polarized and divided we are, coming together, even on something as simple and clear as this, seems impossible. So as we contemplate what happens next, I'd like to remind you of the words of our greatest son, Muhammad Ali, who said, "Impossible is just a word thrown around by small men who find it easier to live in the world that they've been given than to explore the power they have to change it." Impossible is not a fact. It's an opinion. Impossible is potential. Impossible is temporary. Impossible is nothing. So as we think about those words, and as we grieve, both as individuals, as our office here, and as a community, we're going to keep doing our work, serving the people of Louisville. And I ask the people of our city, our great city, who've shown such compassion over many years, to help to look out for one another as we come together for the future of the city we love, and to demand change from our state and federal officials. Thank you for coming out today.